If you want to build $1 million business, this is the video you need to watch. It doesn't matter if you already have a business or if you're looking to start one. I'll tell you in 3 steps what you need to do in detail to go from 0 to $1 million without going crazy. It's the same framework I used to turn my own business into a 7-figure business in just under 2 years. I'll also leave a free workbook under the video so you can download it and go through it yourself if you want to implement it and grow your business. So first things first, let's talk about the business model you're going to go for. Because the business model will determine your chances of succeeding in reaching that $1 million. Plus, you also want a business model with enough profit to make it worth your time. So, because let's say you're starting a construction company and you're building homes. Well, you can reach that amount, you can reach that $1 million very quickly with just 1 or 2 projects, depending on the price, but you will need a lot of money, labor, you will have very low profit margins in the beginning, so it might not be the best business model to start with. And this is why you should always go for a service-based business instead of a product-based business, especially if it's your first business. To be clear, a service-based business sells skills, time, or expertise instead of a physical product, instead of something you can touch. So, for example, a recruitment agency sells the service of finding employees or candidates for companies. A marketing agency sells the service of getting leads or sales through ads. And a plumber or an electrician sell the work they do. They don't really sell the materials. And most service-based businesses require minimal investment to start, which is a really good thing, because most of the time you're going to use things you already have, like your computer and your phone. And you might need some specific software, but as long as you're starting, most software has free versions, trials, or low-priced options for solo businesses. The second thing you need to consider after picking your business model is what are you going to charge for your service. And if your goal is to make $1 million, you should either choose high-ticket services so that every client brings in a decent amount of money, or choose monthly recurring revenue, which means that your clients pay smaller fees, but they pay them each month over and over again. And to use an agency as an example, you can offer your service at $10,000 for 6 months and then get paid upfront, or you can offer that same service at $1,666 per month with a 6-month contract. And in both cases, you make the same $10,000, but in the first example, you get the whole amount at once, which allows you to invest it in your business and grow faster. And if you go for recurring revenue or split payments, well, increase your prices just a little. Give your client the choice between, let's say, $10,000 at once or $2,000 per month for 6 months. This way, you win either way, because or you get a big sum in one time, or you get an even bigger sum, but you have to wait 6 months for it. So it's a trade-off. And I have 2 companies providing a similar service. I've got a recruiting agency where we help companies hire engineers. And on average, we charge between $10,000 to $20,000 per hire, which is a high ticket price. And I've also got a social recruiting agency where we help companies hire all kinds of people by running job ads and employer branding campaigns on social media. And there we charge them anywhere between $2,000 to $3,000 monthly, and that would be an example of monthly recurring revenue. And is one better than the other? Well, no, not really. Each one has its own advantages and disadvantages. But if you're starting out, go for high ticket, because you'll get more financial breathing room faster, and in the beginning that really changes a lot. And once you've got your business model and your pricing structure dialed in, make sure your service is scalable. And by scalable, I mean that you have to be able to have multiple clients at once so you can stack revenue. And to return to the construction example, if you're starting out, it's going to be really hard to build more than one house at a time. So it's going to be really hard to stack revenue, like I said. But if your delivery only takes a couple of hours per day or per week, then you can add as many clients as you can possibly fit in that time frame. For example, in my social recruiting agency, my marketer creates a recruiting campaign in around 4 hours. This means he can make around 10 campaigns per week, knowing he works 40 hours a week. And therefore, he can take on 10 clients at an average of $2,500 per month per client, which means that my business will earn around $25,000 in that month from his work alone. And another big benefit is that even if I lose one or two clients, I'm still making $20,000 a month. But if I only had one really big paying client and he'd cancel his service, I'd be down to $0 per month again. And this brings us to the next part of the framework, which is team structure. Structuring your team the right way will multiply your business's earning potential. But before we talk about a team, we need to talk about you, because when you start, you're in the solo phase. The solo phase is when you're all alone. The game here is to try to get out of it as quickly as you possibly can. And the good news is that you don't always need money or clients. When I started my recruiting agency, my first hire didn't cost me anything. I used to call him my NBE, which stands for no budget employee. And his job was to get clients, and when they paid, he would get a share. And this was really a blessing for me because he brought me clients and I was focused on delivering candidates to those clients. And this means that I gained a lot of hours per week that could be turned into income producing activities, or IPAs. And the good news is that you can hire as many of those NBEs as you can find. Just keep in mind that you're building a business and that you don't want a bunch of cowboys to ruin your business or your reputation before it takes off properly. And if you're anything like 90% of the business owners I know, you will do everything yourself for a while, and that's completely okay. What you want to focus on are those IPAs, those income producing activities, because without IPAs there is no income, and without an income, there is no business. So changing the font on your website, updating LinkedIn, and ordering business cards or whatever are not IPAs, so they shouldn't be your focus. Your focus should be on two things, and that's one, getting clients, and two, delivering the service you promised so you can get paid. A principle that really helped me manage my time correctly was making a clear distinction between productive hours and non-productive hours. Productive hours are the hours you spend making money, and they're typically between 9 to 5 when other businesses are open and you can actually reach your clients. And the non-productive hours, they are typically between 5 to 9, so when businesses are closed. So if you want to update your fonts and order your cards and whatever you want to do, well, that's the moment. Do it when your clients are closed. And when you've got your first clients and you're making profits each month, hire your first employee. Really don't wait too long, because if your goal is to hit that $1 million in revenue, you've got two smart choices here. What you want to look at is this: are you better at sales or at delivery? And those are the two things that will generate income, so you have to pick one. If you're good at sales, or if delivery is a really low level skill compared to selling, then hire somebody who can do the delivery. This way you can spend all the time you used to spend on delivery on getting new customers, increasing the number of customers your business can handle. So let's say you were splitting your time 50-50 between sales and delivery, well, in your solo phase, and you were making around $10,000 a month. By going all in on sales, you can now scale to $20,000 per month because you have double time for sales, and your employee also has double the time you used to have for delivery. On the other hand, if delivery is complex, or if you suck at sales or don't like it, then hire a salesperson. And these are the two things you need to know, or you need to keep in mind when you're hiring a sales rep. And the first one is that you want to compensate them either 100% on commission or with a lower fixed salary plus commissions. And this generally attracts better salespeople and keep out tire kickers who are just there for the big paying sales jobs. And I've always kept my base salary just above minimum wage. However, I am paying one of the highest commissions in my industry, which means that my team is earning a lot of money. I often joke that I got a bunch of 20-somethings working for me that earn more than their parents, and the funny thing is that it's 100% true. I've often paid salaries of $10,000 to $15,000 because of their commissions, and as I said, they're in their mid-20s. And by the way, what I want you to look at is not what you're paying, it's what you're getting in return. I'm okay with paying $50,000 a year for somebody who's bringing in $200,000 a year. But I'll be more than happy to pay $200,000 a year to somebody bringing in $1 million per year. Because it might be 4 times the salary, but it's also 5 times the income. And this brings me to the other thing you must remember when hiring that sales rep. It's metrics. If you close 20% of client meetings and your sales rep can close 30% of client meetings, that's not a 10% increase. That's a 50% increase. That's going from $20,000 a month to $30,000 per month. And the better you become at tracking metrics and improving them, the more money you'll make without making major changes. And after hiring that first person, whether it's sales or delivery, it's time to build a real team. And in this phase, you're going to hire person 2 to 4. And the first thing you want to do is max out the potential of the person doing delivery, because 1, they're already on the team, and 2, this means you're gaining more bang for your buck in terms of salary. Hiring more sales reps is always a good idea as long as delivery can handle it. You will continue this until the sum of your sales potential equals $1 million per year. And at that point, it's no longer a how issue, it's a when issue. When are you going to hit the target? You've got the people to bring in clients and you've got people to deliver the service to those clients. Your job then is to step out of the daily operations and build a business. Because you're stepping out of the startup phase and you need to focus on building a real business that generates predictable revenue with a stable team and without working 80 hours or I don't know many hours per week. My team bills our clients 6 figures every month, and here I am on a Wednesday at 3 p.m. recording this YouTube video from my home office. And I do it between the productive hours because I can. And I can because of 3 things. The first one is that I created systems. And by systems, I mean workflows, SOPs, best practices, and rules that are just generally known to the whole team. And systems are the backbone of every business that runs smoothly because they give clear directions and instructions to everybody involved. Think of them as the who does what, when do they do it, and how do they do it. If you put all of that in writing, it becomes also much easier to lead and to train people. When you're hiring people, they don't know what to do in the beginning, and those systems are going to help them by providing them with guidelines about working at your company in their specific roles and what it looks like. And it also frees up your time because when they have a certain question, you can just point them to an SOP or a video training, for example, instead of explaining everything over and over again. The second thing that you're going to do after getting your system dialed in is to delegate. Let the people who want more responsibility and are ready for it have some. If one of your sales reps is great at explaining the things to the rest of the team and you see that other sales reps are coming to that person for advice, then you might consider promoting them to a sales manager position, especially if they're better at it than you are. Because of this, you can keep on growing your business without spending a big chunk of your time on training. But hiring and training people is the single biggest leverage combination you will ever have in your business. The better the people you hire and the better you can train them, the better their results will be, the more you'll grow and the more money you will make. So don't delegate too much or too soon, and don't skip training. You have a team around you, which means that you have to use everybody's strengths and weaknesses properly. I'm still onboarding every new employee because it's my business and I want to give them the best start possible. But I haven't been doing sales for a few years now, so I let my team handle the client side of the training because my team knows our clients better than I do. And the third and final thing you need to do is to work on your business and not in it. And I used to think this sounded so cliche, but once I understood its true meaning, it really changed my business. Working on your business is a combination of 2 things. At the stage you're in right now, it's improving your offer and improving your people. You want to select the highest leverage tasks first, And by highest leverage, I mean which tasks will benefit your business the most if they're rolled out correctly. And if you're anything like I was, you started at a low price or at least lower than most of your competitors. And working on your business might just be working on a price increase. So you don't change your service, you get to charge more because by now you're better at delivering it and you've got more proof and whatnot. Another thing you can do is also improve your offer so you get to charge more for it. And while you're at it, you know what? Do both. Really. A better offer and a better service can justify a higher increase in price if you only take care of them one at a time. Because you got the same team, you got the same costs, but a higher price means more income and especially more profit. And more profit means a happier you at the end of the year when it comes to dividends. And on the other hand, working on your business might be training your team. Let's say your business is making $100,000 per month. If you increase your price by 10%, you will make around $10,000 per month extra. If you get your sales rep to increase their close rate by the same 10%, as I said earlier, you went from 20 to 30%, that's the 50% increase. This means that your revenue is going from $100,000 per month to $150,000 per month. So in both examples, you're increasing something by 10%, but one makes you 10% more per month, while the other makes you $50,000 more per month. And by the way, it's not a this or that situation, it's definitely a this and that situation, just not at the same time. So I guess it's more of a first this and then that situation. Anyway, the beauty of it is that things complement each other. Because if you first raise your close rate by 10%, you go from $100,000 to $150,000 per month. And if you then increase your price by 10%, you're no longer earning $10,000 more. As in the previous example, you're now earning $15,000 more. Isn't that nice? Building a 1 million business is a matter of picking the right business model, building a team, and removing yourself as the bottleneck. If you do those three things, making that $1 million will be inevitable. The only thing you need is time and patience. As long as you're trying, as long as you're not giving up, you're on your way there. By the way, I want to remind you of the free workbook you can download under this video. And if you liked what you heard today, YouTube recommends you to watch this video next.